Hi guys! For those of you who don't know me, I am Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here. But today I'm going to teach you about La Santissima Muerte or Santa Muerte. So I've been working casually with Santa Muerte for a couple years now, and a lot of you know that my little cat, Cornica, passed away recently, very unexpectedly. And during that time, I prayed to Santa Muerte a lot, and she helped me through that. And I promised her that I would make a video talking about her. So I'm going to fulfill that promise today. So I've compiled a list of different information that I've gathered from my book, The Encyclopedia of Spirits, and then I will also share with you as well some information that I've channeled personally or that I've experienced personally with working with Santa Muerte. I also need to give a shout out to Shireen at Arabian Conjure because she was teaching me about her and talking to me about her while I was going through the experience of having to make the choice of whether or not to put Cornica down. And so I definitely want to give a shout out to Shireen because she helped me with this connection as well. So most people know her as Santa Muerte, but many also know her as La Santissima Muerte, and this means blessed death or holy death. Santa Muerte is the spirit of death, but she also is and represents death itself. Santa Muerte is both loved and feared, like many of our favorite icons, especially female icons. Who is she really, though? Some say that she is the modern manifestation of the Aztec deity. Okay, bear with me, guys. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly. I'm going to do my best. Mictlantecuhtli, the Lady of Death. Others say she is the Mexican representation of the Grim Reaper, which was widely known throughout Europe. Some say she appeared in the dream of a 19th century brujo or shaman sorcerer in Veracruz, identifying herself and demanding veneration from the shaman. Ultimately, though, she could be a combination of all. Now, La Santissima Muerte can be venerated for any and all reasons, even things seen as unethical or not of the church. For this reason, among many other reasons, she is not petitioned lightly. Having a casual relationship with her is possible, but it's certainly not the norm. Now, for someone like myself, having a casual relationship with her is something that I personally am able to do with different spirits that usually demand a lot of personal attention, simply because I am so psychic, I am running this business, and they understand that my time is being occupied by many other spirits. She came to me personally to help me clear and move extreme childhood trauma, right? So a lot of the childhood trauma that I went through would be deemed extremely dark and unholy, right? So I feel she came through to support me through that. I also feel she came through to support me with certain feelings around wanting to unalive myself, being the spirit of death, wanting to do that to myself due to the extreme negative childhood trauma and experiences that I endured, and then the extreme negative trauma that followed me throughout my life after. Because as most people know, when we go through these experiences at a young age, when our mind is so malleable, we tend to repeat those experiences over and over again until we break the cycle, because while we were supposed to be protected and taught right from wrong, instead we were experiencing these heinous traumatic acts. So we kind of have to go throughout life figuring that out for ourselves and come out the other side and make a choice as an adult to break the cycle within ourselves and not accept that kind of treatment from others. boundaries have been a really difficult lesson for me to learn, and putting myself first and respecting myself have also been a difficult lesson for me to learn as a survivor of childhood abuse. So she helped me with a lot of that, and she helped me with the processing of the things I didn't want to look at, the things, like I was saying, that are more dark or considered unholy, or, you know, just depraved acts of evil that no human should endure. It's hard to look at those experiences within ourselves and even acknowledge that the child within us and the child that went through those things that no grown person should ever have to endure. A child had to endure that, and so she helped me a lot with that. However, she was also very considerate of the fact that I was trying to juggle a lot of different relationships with many different spirits, and the fact that she came to me, she knew already that the relationship that we were going to have was going to be casual until the time was right. And this also happened to me with Zeus. Zeus came to me, and I was not ready to even touch that relationship with a 10-foot pole, and so he kept coming back until I was ready. And even though a lot of people say that he can be a very egotistical god, he's very patient with me. Invoking Santa Muerte can actually be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, if you are not respectful of gods or goddesses or certain spirits, and also if you do not keep your word. So this is something to remember with all spirits. If you make them a promise, you should keep it. The same way with people. People aren't going to put up with you if you keep making false promises, empty promises, you never come through. Eventually people are going to give up on you. They're not going to put up with it anymore, and they're not going to be interested in spending time with you. Now, with spirits, it's going to be the same thing, but they'll probably also punish you as well. Just as some people will punish you for that kind of bad behavior too. Now, Santa Muerte can do anything and everything, which is why so many people petition her for help with things that they maybe can't go to other spirits for. She has access to all knowledge and fears nothing, as she is literally the personification of death. She is death itself. She has no fear. Not a single one of her enemies could outrun death. She protects those in life-threatening situations or life-threatening occupations. This includes those who work with scary people and those who come into close proximity with scary or dangerous people. Excuse me. She can be petitioned to aid souls in crossing over and to also aid in a happy, painless, easy death or crossover. She can give assistance with the dead and in the ancestral realms, and she can aid with ancestors both good and bad, right? Because not every ancestor within your family line was a good person with good intentions towards you. So it's very important to remember that when we are petitioning and connecting to our ancestors, that we are not interested in connecting with each and every one of those ancestors, because some of them were just awful people in life, and it's probably not of your best interest to connect to their souls after death. She can also aid in removing negative ancestral spirits that may be bothering you or attached to you. She can attain information from beyond. She can also banish ghosts or negative spirits that may be plaguing you, attached to you, sent to you from rivals. She can make them go away. She can also release binds and strongholds, aiding you in breaking the chains of your ancestral karma, similarly to how she aided me in moving through my childhood trauma. She is most popular amongst SEX workers, psychics or fortune tellers, healers, mystics, and anyone who dabbles in the occult, particularly psychopomps, or those who cross or walk the line between the living and the dead. So I don't talk about this much, but during my birth, both my mother and I almost passed away. My heart actually stopped while I was still in my mother, and I needed to be removed through emergency procedure. And when I came out, my heart was not beating. The doctor slapped me on the back and my heart still did not start. So he wound up and slapped me really freaking hard because, he had nothing to lose, right? And then my heart started again. I also don't talk about this much, but the first doctor who my mom was seeing told her that she needed to abort me, and cornered her in the room that she was in until she screamed, and they had to let her out. And when she got a second opinion, they said that was ridiculous. There was no reason for that. And I learned the full story of my birth and how, I almost died and how my mother almost died. And the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck when I came out too, which is what had cut off my breathing. And I had a diviner on my 30th birthday tell me that that was spiritual attack. The doctor attempting to have me aborted, and also the extremely traumatic birth experience that me, my mother, and father all shared was absolutely, without a doubt, spiritual attack. Much like Blair White, they've been trying to kill me since I came out of the womb, but nice try ain't gonna happen. And then, of course, my sister's birth was completely normal. There were no signs of spiritual attack. There were no stressful situations. It went on without a hitch. So, yeah, just an interesting fact about me. Like Saint Martha or Santa Marta la Dominadora, Santa Muerte can be used by women to return their wandering husbands or lovers. She can be used to make men behave. No surprise here, there was a point in time when venerating and worshiping Santa Muerte was outlawed, probably by the same men that she was putting in their place. There was a rumor created that if she grants your request, she will take the life of someone you hold near and dear, one of your loved ones. This rumor was completely false and has no merit behind it. It was simply a scare tactic used to try and keep people away from venerating La Santísima Muerte. Although this was a scare tactic, it is very important that you keep your word with Santa Muerte, like I said, along with many other spirits. Why am I so burpy? It's important that you're specific on how it is you're going to pay her for the work that she does for you, and also to give a specific time frame of which you are going to give that offering. Just like with humans, you wouldn't want to do a job for someone and not be paid, or do a job for someone, they say they're going to pay you by a certain amount of time, and then they don't. And now you're either waiting for way longer than what you agreed upon, or you never get paid at all. You wouldn't like that, so you shouldn't do it to spirits either. As I keep reiterating, this is important with all spirits, but some spirits are more forgiving than others, and Santa Muerte is not going to be one of the most forgiving spirits. Santa Muerte is depicted or manifests in the form of a robed skeleton, sometimes crowned skeleton. She is typically depicted as a Grim Reaper. This is my little statue of Santa Muerte. So you can see we have the big Santa and the little Santa representing, her cloaking over the devotees. The globe in each of their hands to represent her global influence, and also the chokehold that death has on the human race as a whole, right? Because, as Kesha put it, no one's getting out alive. That's a great song. No one's getting out alive. But anyway, it represents the power that she holds over humankind. We also have the scythe, and then on mine we do have a little owl, which is another representation of her, which we will get into after. And then every Santa Muerte I have had has been filled with resin at the bottom with charms for good luck, or different herbs representing different goals that you're trying to achieve with your Santa Muerte. Santa Muerte can also be represented by a coffin or grave digging tools, Bones or skull can be used to represent her, or you can even use a skull and crossbones flag, typically like what we're seeing on, as pirate flags. I've got on my little handmade clay skull medallion that makes me think of Santa Muerte. Oh my god, I have so many burps. In August of 2007, a new statue was revealed in Mexico City representing Santa Muerte, but it depicted her in a more traditional saint-like or goddess version of La Santísima Muerte, almost like a Madonna. She has a porcelain face, beautiful long flowing brown hair, a gorgeous gown, and a veil. Allegedly, Santa Muerte appeared to a woman in December of 2006 requesting that this image of her be depicted and built. Many devotees apparently did protest this softening of her image and didn't feel that it did her spirit justice. Now I'm going to explain to you the different meanings of the color codings of her statues. A black Santa Muerte statue can be used for protection and revenge. A red Santa Muerte statue can be used for anything involving love. This is including self-love. A white Santa Muerte statue can be used for good fortune, to get rid of bad luck, and also for healing. Yellow and gold Santa Muerte statues are used to represent economic success. Color-coordinated candles can be used with spells to increase the intention that you're setting for your manifestations. Her attributes are a scythe, scales, a crystal ball, or an hourglass. She does not really like to share an altar, but it can be good to invoke her with Saint Anthony, Elena, or Archangel Michael. This can kind of help even out and balance the energy, and also keep her energy in check if it feels a little bit too big for you to carry and contain within yourself. Her sacred bird is an owl. Her sacred sites can be found in Mexico City, and traditionally devotees like to light a pair of candles in any of her communal shrines. Offerings you can give to Santa Muerte include, but are not limited to, bread, water, incense, or candles, prayers and veneration or a tattoo of her image, candy, fruit, and flowers, usually white roses, but the flowers must be fresh. For me personally, she asked for red roses. Rum, sherry, or tequila, whiskey, shiny red apples, chocolate or sugar skulls, cigars or cigarettes, and the cigars or cigarettes traditionally are lit and smoked, and then the smoke is blown over her image. So you could light a cigar, take a couple puffs, and blow it over your statue or over the image that you are using to represent her. This represents them actually getting the smoke themselves. So that's all I have for you today about Santa Muerte. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Like I said, I'm way more of a new devotee, but I did want to do this to share about her because I said I would and she asked me to. So please leave any other information you'd like to share with others in the comments. Leave requests for other spirits you'd like me to delve into and talk about. If you have an interest in this, please just let me know your overall thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you for another video, and I hope you're doing great. I love you. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. And I will see you another time. Okay, bye.